Okay, let's legitimately actually talk very quickly about The Man from U.N.C.L.E., the 2015 film by Guy Ritchie. This is the Arrow release. I do recommend it. It's got some pretty good bonus features, and while I only was able to listen to 20 minutes of the commentary, the guy seems to know his stuff rather well. So yeah, I recommend this bougie release. That being said, let's talk about the actual film. So this stars Henry Cavill, Alicia Vikander, and Armie Hammer as the men from U.N.C.L.E. Cavill plays someone named Napoleon Solo, as he is an American agent, a CIA agent, who must get Alicia Vikander's character Gabby out of West Berlin, as her father is a former Nazi scientist working with an unnamed entity to create nuclear weapons, like nuclear bombs, but make them simpler to make. There's something about the process with like uranium. You gotta enrich it, and he's trying to figure out a way to make that enrichment process simpler. Solo also must team up with a KGB agent played by Armie Hammer, whose name I don't really remember. They must team up to, as an American agent and a Russian agent, team up together to stop this superpower from possibly forming right under their noses. And yeah, that was sort of like the whole hook of the show that this is based off of. This is actually kind of a prequel to the original Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV show, and very much falls in line with, yeah, I mean, this is fun. Overall, I like this movie. But I do have some problems. I think the cast pretty much all do a good job. And I think, so this isn't Guy Ritchie's first time filming action, but you can kind of tell that he's doing like a good job with all these actors, but there are some moments where it's like really shaky, whether that's, really shaky sort of like pop zooms or something like that, or, just shaky handheld. There's just, sometimes the action looks nice, and I think Guy Ritchie most certainly would be able to make a nice, cool, slick 1960s type spy film naturally. But I think that there's just some interesting sort of like camera decisions that he makes. There's also certain story decisions that I think don't necessarily work. There's a bit of a, how best to describe this, a bit of a mystery element to this film that sort of, pops up halfway through, and I think it sort of drops the ball. It very much sort of, Guy Ritchie seems to handle it very much the way he does in the Sherlock Holmes movies, and I don't necessarily like his Sherlock Holmes films as much as I think some other people do, because I like my mysteries to be more like, brain tingly. I want the mystery in a Sherlock Holmes film to make me really stretch out my brain. And his mysteries are just, oh, here's breadcrumbs, here's, oh, a book that says what's going on. But then he tries to sort of then show you everything that happens, and it doesn't necessarily all fit, and this kind of has that problem as well. I actually think that he handles the mystery element, even though it's not super big, in Wrath of Man. Wrath of Man is about, what is this guy H doing here? And you slowly throughout the film see, oh, this is why H is here and why he's doing what he's doing. And I don't know, I don't think he, does that necessarily super well here. And I feel like the quirky things that make Guy Ritchie movies so special is unfortunately lacking in this film, and that's coming from a Guy Ritchie fan. And yeah, I think it's kind of interesting to sort of compare this film with King Arthur, a movie I reviewed last year, where you can tell that both of these were supposed to be the beginnings of a franchise or the beginnings of a trilogy, you know. And I think what makes King Arthur so special is that it was a really cool, you know, it was maybe a bit more style over substance than most, but it had a really cool, you know, musical score and like just really interesting camera work and like, you know, there might be some bad acting in that film, but the script and like just the sort of self-seriousness kind of worked with that movie to make it feel like, you know, a really good kind of schlock film. And I feel like what most certainly probably turned off some people from the, you know, from the, you know, King Arthur of it all, for most people, those are things that I love about the film. And I feel like a lot of those problems that people have with King Arthur most certainly kind of rear their head with this film. It's a good, fun film, and I looked it up, and it is on Netflix. It's available to watch with ads. So I will most certainly tell my cousin that, hey, this is, you know, free of ads. But, because I was telling him about this movie. But, like, it's a fun movie, and I most certainly will, like, watch it again. You know, most certainly pop it back on, like, when I'm doing the laundry or some shit like that. But overall, it's just, you know, it's fun, but it just kind of is there. I did get the, you know, like I said, Arrow Video boutique release. I actually really like this. This is a nice little cover. It's nice, it's simple. I like it a bit more than the regular Blu-ray. I feel like the DVD was a bit of an uglier yellow. So I do recommend this release. This does feel a little too busy, but this does feel very 60s. And yeah, and Alicia Vikander also did a good job. This is like not one of her first roles in general, but one of her first American roles, I believe. And you can't necessarily, like with Lara Croft, like with Tomb Raider, you can kind of see, oh, this is obviously an Oscar-winning actress, because she did win an Oscar a year after this film came out for some movie I'm forgetting the name of. But, you know, she did win an Oscar, the very next year for a different movie. And when you watch Tomb Raider, you can see, yes, Oscar winner. You kind of can't see it here just quite yet. But I think she did a good job. And soon, because I do own another thing from Arrow, I will try to review The Last Starfighter. But I actually saw this on Blu-ray, actually. And I thought, oh, like the 25th anniversary version. And I was like, oh, how old is this movie? It's like from 84, so it's kind of old. It's like 40 something right now. But yeah, so I might be reviewing this soon. But yeah, that is it for now. Remember that God made you special. He loves you very much. I hope you have a very lovely day. And yeah, TikTok got banned. It's funny. The one thing when I say our, I mean America. The one thing the American government can agree on is something that absolutely no one wanted. But when we want something, they can't seem to agree. Yeah. That sounds about right. But, anywho, I hope that you had a very lovely weekend. I hope you have a very lovely day. And I'm most certainly going to miss a lot of the TikTokers that I followed, and most certainly the random Bob's Burgers and New Girl clips that I most certainly, you know, wasted a lot of time scrolling on. But, like I said, remember that God made you special. He loves you very much. Whether you believe in him or not, he made you. He loves you. And I hope you have a very lovely day. God bless.